we're seeing more expired listings. Harry, you said you had shared on one of our huddles last week. It was probably Thursday because that was December 1st. You saw a huge number of expired listings. Is that
correct?
Am I?
Yeah. So in my MLS, or I'm sorry, I use My Plus Leads, and usually I get, I'd say 20 or 30. It's a big, it's like a 25-mile radius.
Yep.
A good chunk of which is not particularly places I would want to go, but on the first, there were 330 of them, and I culled it down to 30 that were, in price ranges that made sense and locations that made sense. So it was big.
And that was a drastic increase versus what you would normally see.
Right. Yeah.
Example, over November 1st.
Well, it's interesting. I noticed, yes, it was a big difference over what it was November 1st.
Sure. Okay. So I would say the first step in exploring expired listings as a pillar in your business is go and find the opportunity in your market. Just go and look. You don't need to pay for anything to get started with it. Go and look at December 1st, see how many homes expired in your market coverage area, so you can identify what level of opportunity may be there. Just because I'm curious, how many, and you can just, if you're on camera, you can wave your hand or you can put in the chat. How many of you have ever listed an expired listing? You've taken an expired listing, and we're getting a lot. That's great. That's great. Some context first, I think. Some context first. What does every home seller, expired, for sale by owner or other, what is it that they actually are looking for? What are they actually looking for? Are they looking for a 200-point marketing plan?
No,
they just want to get their house sold.
Sell their house.
Right. Are they looking for the realtor that's top 5 in their market or has this award or that award? No, they're not even looking to sell their house. They want a buyer for their house, right? That is, when it comes down to brass tacks, that is what they use. Which, by the way, what does brass tacks even mean? Does anybody know what that means? I don't even know what that means. I don't know why I said that. Harry's on it. Good. Okay. Regardless, you get what I mean. What they actually want, what any home seller actually wants, is a buyer who is going to give them top dollar with the least amount of hassle, right? So as valuable as we all are here, they don't actually want us, okay? But if we can be the ones providing that solution for them, we're going to earn their attention. And so the topic today is how to use cash offers to get expired listings. And what I will tell you is the cash offer is sort of the linchpin piece of this. And so if you don't have a way of making cash offers or providing cash offers to, in this case, expired listings, but there are many ways that you can utilize this. If you don't have that, then your first thing to do after this mastermind is get back to whoever invited you and ask them about our partnership and cash offer platform, because that is integral. Now, there are other ways that you can accomplish this. You can go out in your local market and establish relationships with the cash offer investors. Every one of you on here has local investors or local companies, and some of them not even local companies, national companies that are buying properties for cash, right? So you don't have to have the cash offer platform relationship that we've established thanks to Bob, who is on here with us. You don't have to have that in order to do this, though it makes it a little bit easier and fills in a lot of the gaps, right? Go out and establish those relationships, okay? And I'll even show you, we'll probably have time where I can show you how you can find the cash buyers in your market. There are different software tools, and one of them we're actually going to use just as an example of ways that you can find expired listings. Okay. So first and foremost, we have to have a way to get the expired listings. Now, the most obvious, and one that I believe every one of you on here would have access to, is pulling expired listings from your MLS. Okay. And that the benefit of that is it costs you nothing in addition to what you're already paying, right? Because you're already paying for that. The drawback is you're going to have to do some extra legwork to find additional data points for those folks if you're going to do more than just direct mail. And so I'm going to show at least 3 different, one direct mail, email, and text ways that you can communicate, right? The other thing you'll have to do is when you're pulling them up in the MLS is you're going to have to cross-reference, has it sold and has it been relisted, right? So you got to do a little bit of legwork there to make sure that we're not soliciting properties that have since been relisted or even potentially in fact sold, because let's face it, you know, some agents don't don't do a good job of updating listing details on properties. Okay, so that's number 1, is just right within your MLS. Number 2, actually, that I'm remembering as I see Kathleen here, because she pointed this out to us, one of our coaching huddles probably this year, is RPR. RPR, which we all, if you're paying, you know, National Association of Realtor dues, you have access to RPR. You can actually pull expired and I think canceled and withdrawn listings in there as well. And though that's not technically free because we're sort of paying for that, it won't cost you anything in addition to do that, right? So that's another great way you could pull it. Harry mentioned a resource that some of us in here use, myself included, a platform called My Plus Leads. My Plus Leads. If you go to growwithjosh.com/My Plus Leads, you can check it out there. And with that platform, you can get for sale by owner data, for rent by owner data, and expired data. And they have some other data available as well. The nice thing with that platform is, number 1, they will automatically append data, being email and phone numbers, and it will also cross-reference if the number is on the do not call list, and it will also check, is this a landline or a cell phone, right? Landline, we'd have to call. Cell phone, you should probably try texting first, okay? And I lost my train of thought there. So email and phone, right, with My Plus Leads. Oh, and the other thing is this was my other point. And for those of you who are using KB Core, you can actually, there's a direct connection with KB Core, or a direct integration with My Plus Leads and KB Core. You can one-click them into your KB Core, which is a nice bonus as well. Other places that you can find expired data, the RedX is a great platform. It's not one that I'm currently using, but I have in the past. Personally know the owner and founder, great guy, great company. It's not cheap, but it's a great platform. And there are others as well, Vulcan 7, Land Voice, right? And I want to show you one other way that you can find this expired data with a resource that some of you are already using potentially as well. And it is a platform called PropStream. And you can get a free 7-day trial at growwithjosh.com/PS. growwithjosh.com/PS. By the way, before I forget, and I'll mention this several times, the resources, scripts, etc. mentioned today, they will all be compiled for you. And all you have to do is get back to whoever invited you to the session. And once we have it all built out, we've got some of it already built out. Once we have all of that built out, we'll be happy to share that with you. Okay. But I want to show one other way, just because I like this resource, and we use this resource for other marketing as well. And so I'm going to log in here PropStream. And we use PropStream to pull absentee owner data. We will often use it to build lists for just listed, just sold marketing. We can go into PropStream to build a list. Let's say you have buyer clients that are looking for a specific type of property in a specific zip code, but there's nothing on the market that fits. You can go into PropStream, you can build a list of those types of homes and proactively, essentially, it may not be you bringing those folks a cash buyer, but you're bringing a ready, willing, and able buyer. It goes back to the point we made at the beginning. Anytime someone is thinking about selling a home, what they're looking for is a buyer, not necessarily an agent or a marketing plan or a marketing process, or, to get it on the MLS or to have a sign in the yard, any of that stuff. That's a necessary evil for many folks, but that's not necessarily what they're looking for. And so PropStream is a great way that you can do that. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to load up for me today. And also the preparing of the live stream. I don't know Mike, you'll have to check after if this actually got streamed into the group, because for some reason it just keeps telling me it's preparing, even though the notification said that it was live. Well, we might have to abort on this and add this as a separate tutorial as a bonus information. Here we go. Oh no, it's trying to make me log in again. Let's see here. We're going to try one more time, and then we'll keep it moving along if it doesn't work. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take an expired listing and show you how the direct mail, the email, and the text message that we can use to create the conversation opportunity and to get the attention of the expired and have a different conversation. Because I think we can all agree that there are other people in your market trying to get these expired listings. But most of them are going to be using old, outdated, antiquated means of doing so, right? Saying things like, when are you ready to interview the right agent to get your home sold? Like, nobody wants to hear that crap. Let's be honest, right? Like, let's have a different conversation. PropStream doesn't want to load for me. What we'll do is we'll add that as a separate tutorial for those, and we'll add that to the bonus materials, the replay link, the scripts, etc. for those folks who are interested. Again, all you have to do is get back to the whoever invited you to today's session. Or maybe it's just my internet doesn't want to work. And that's the problem, because now my MLS doesn't want to work. Okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find an expired listing, and I'm going to walk through the process. If you are going to do this, what's the way I want to describe this? If you are going to manually do all these steps, right? You've got minimal budget, but you've got time available for you, right? Because there are things that we can do to automate at least some portions of these items for those interested. But in many cases, that's going to cost us a little bit of money. So we're going like the bootstrapped way to get started with this process. So I'm going to log into my MLS. And by the way, as I'm logging in, because we're utilizing cash offers to go and get these expireds, we need to make sure that these expired listings fit the cash offer buy boxes. In other words, and I would actually recommend that you get the cash offers first. And as I mentioned before, if you want to learn more about our cash offer platform, just get back to whoever invited you. But I would actually try to obtain the cash offer first, or at least be 100% certain, or close to 100% certain, that you can get the cash offer, right? Because you don't want it to be a bait and switch, and you don't want to have to go back after you've told the expired listing, I have a cash offer on your home, and then say, oh, you know what, I was just kidding, I don't, right? You don't want egg on your face. Okay, so I'm going to go and find an expired listing here. So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to find one right in my backyard. So I'm going to pull up my zip code. Whoops. So I've got my zip code. I'm going to go expired. I'm going to go very specific. I'm going to go like 90 to 100 days. Let's see what that comes up. Oh, I got 0. How can that be? All right. Well, I'll go 90 to 180 days. There we go. Now I've got 11, and I'm just going to punch in a few things here because I know the buy box in this zip code, and I want to make sure that I'm pulling up expired listings that will fit our potential buy box. Whoops, 1950 plus. Okay, I've got one. I must be doing something wrong here. But regardless, I've got one expired listing, and we're gonna roll with this. Now, number one, I need to make sure. You know what? Here we're gonna. I'm gonna switch to a different zip code. I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna do city. There we go. Now I've got 6 to choose from. And I'm going back. So, you know, likely, as we indicated at the beginning, there are more expireds coming online. But just for this illustration, I wanted to go here. So what I'm going to do is, first and foremost, I'm going to take a screenshot of this because we're going to utilize this in the marketing, the direct mail marketing that we're going to send out. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this, and we're going to utilize that. That'll be the third step, the third marketing sort of component that we're going to execute on. Okay. So
Josh?
yes.
Sorry. Do you want to make sure that it didn't get resold?
Yeah. I guess
Just because
yeah,
I find
just
a
didn't wanna
lot
have
of
to open
times.
up too many different tabs and so forth, and I wanted to keep it moving along. But because I actually want to send these messages out, I should verify that. I just didn't want to then have to go back and forth and back and forth. But nonetheless, that was a good point. So I'm going to bring up Remine, which is something we have access to within Bright MLS. But you could use PropStream for this. You could directly use your MLS for this as well. I'm just going to use Remine here just because I want to show as many different, you know, examples and use cases, etc., as possible. It's just that live streaming, a lot of folks on here, it's recording. It's just using a lot of bandwidth and wouldn't normally be responding quite this slow. So it was 711 Edgewood. And by the way, if you have questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, you can put them in the chat, or you can raise your hand. And if I miss people raising their hand, just give me a little shout here. So that's a good point. This sale is pending, so we don't want to market to that one. So while I'm finding another option, Terry, go ahead.
I just have a quick question. Maybe someone in the SoCal market, is Remine basically like Realist in our MLS? Anybody in the California market know that? Maybe not, huh? Okay.
I believe they're two different things, Terry,
Okay.
because we do have Remine and we do have Realist. Realist gives you the property profile, and Remine does all of this stuff that they're doing on this MLS.
I thought we no longer had Remine. We have that?
Well, we'll check after this and see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
just
So,
curious.
so this is a perfect illustration of why we personally use a tool for this, because to manually do this is a pain to find one where that, you know, it doesn't get relisted, it hasn't been sold, it's not pending, etc. But nonetheless, we're gonna plow through here and see if we can find one that hasn't been. So I'm 0 for 2 so far.
This is my first time on this. I just randomly got an email and came here. I'm curious, what area are you in? Because I also use Bright in my market.
So I'm in central Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. I'm
Harrisburg,
in
Mechanic.
Valley.
I'm in the DC area. We have I think, Josh, you and I actually have the same, MLS, Bright. And
Yeah, Bright's a gigantic MLS covering,
yeah,
a huge geographic
area.
landscape.
Yes. And I think we still have it, but we have to pay for it now. We at one
Well,
time
they were threatening that, but I still have it, and without having to pay for it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check into that. Not check into it. I'm gonna check and make sure I still have it, and I'm still actually getting information from the searches that I've created. So I'm gonna check and see if we have to still pay for it.
I'm in northeastern PA and I pay for Bright because it borders my market, and it just to get access to Remine, really.
Yeah.
Small world.
All right. Okay. No, this one's on hold. Mike, can you find me one from My Plus Leads so we don't have to keep muddling through this? I should have had that ahead of time, but I kind of wanted to show it in real time what it would look like for this.
So if you find an expired listing in the MLS, wouldn't you be able to just copy and paste that address into the search bar of that same MLS and see if it is now under contract?
Right, but then I got to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I've got to update the search over and over and over.
Well, now you're going to two different platforms though, right?
Yeah, but I can toggle back and forth. In other words, not have to redo my work every time. Because every time you pop in, if I've got saved criteria here, and every time I pop in an address here, I either have to clear the criteria to see if it's active because I'm choosing expireds, or I'm going to have to, yeah, you just end up having to redo it is the problem. So, all right, we're gonna, let's see here. So I'm going to do.
I think you can avoid redoing it by going to the search, the prior search, the top right, recent searches, top right there. So if you.
Very well could be.
Sorry, I opened that can of worms.
Yep, all good. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. Even though this one doesn't say, this one now is saying canceled, not expired. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one. So we're going to, first off, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. And I'll include this down here. Yeah, that's about good. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. We're going to use that for part 3, the direct mail piece of this. Okay. If we were, if I didn't have My Plus Leads and I wasn't getting this information here. Okay. So, it's one of the reasons why I like My Plus Leads, because I'm able to get data, which all of these numbers are on the do not call list. So I'll just have to tell you the script that we would use, but we won't actually be using that. But let's assume that I don't have that and I want to manually try and find additional information about this expired listing and who owns this. The first place I would start is truepeoplesearch.com. Truepeoplesearch.com. It's a free platform. And we can just pop in here, 4306 Avon. What was it? Avon Drive, just Avon Drive, Harrisburg, PA. Interesting. It's not matching who, do I have the number right? 4306. That is not matching. up. And normally this is really, I am just striking out one way after another. Let's do this. We'll take the name. Trisha Noss. Okay. And let's see what it's giving as the address. I wonder if it is an absentee owned property, which is one of our, no, it doesn't say that. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. In this scenario, I'm just going to go right to the direct mail, because that's one of the things that I'm most excited about with this cash offer process and having a different conversation. So the direct mail platform that I use and could not recommend more for everyone is a platform called thanks.io. And if you create a free account at growwithjosh.com/thanks, growwithjosh.com/thanks, and Mike, if you can get that in the chat, and it will also be included in the bonus resources, etc. If you create a free account there, we have a whole bunch of bonus templates, scripts, training, etc. There are a whole bunch of reasons why I love this platform. We'll get into a couple of them as we build out a postcard that we're going to send to this address to create some inbound request and interest. And we're going to use the screenshot. We're going to use the screenshot that I took in part of our marketing process. So I am going to just go right to send now. We're going to, you can see here, there are a number of different mail options, and we use all of them in different situations and scenarios. For this, I'm going to send the 6x9 postcard, the 6x9 postcard, and I'm going to use Canva to design the image that we're going to create. And this is built natively into the platform. The nice thing here is once we create the design once, all we have to do is edit the design with the screenshot that we've taken of the expired, or in this case, canceled property. I'm going to choose upload. I'm going to grab, just make sure I've got the right screenshot of the two that I took. Nope, that's the, yep, that's the one. Take a minute here to upload to the platform. Hopefully it's uploading. Try that again. There we go. And we're going to put it on here. Center it. Actually, we're going to make it so that it doesn't go right to the edges, because when printing like this, it can be problematic when it goes right to the edges. Now we're going to doctor this up a little bit to draw attention and get the, get the sort of create a pattern interrupt when the, the person we're sending this to receives the postcard here. Doggone it. We'll use this. And by the way, if this is something that you end up wanting to implement in your business, we can help with the design of the initial version of this. And that way you have one that you can just edit when you have a new one to send. No color, line, border, weight, and whoops, that's not right. So we're circling that, and then we're going to add in. We're going to add in what's going to look like a post-it note. So let's see here. We search for a post-it. We have lots of options here. I'm going to choose this one. And we're going to put it over here. We're going to tilt it a little bit. We're going to add some text. We've got a cash offer for your home. Call, text me at 1452. We're going to take that text. We're going to reposition it on the post-it note. Get it to fit on the note. Bit bigger, a little too big. And we're going to go with that. We're going to save that. So that's what the front of the card is going to look like. Then we've got to do the back of the card. And I'm going to say, hi, first name. Looks like your home at, and we can put the address. We can merge that in. Or we can even, it doesn't have to be home. We could say property was listed, but didn't sell. We've got a cash offer for you and would love to meet with you to review it. Or I would love to meet and review it with you. With you. Please call, text me at thanks, Josh. And I've got to make sure that we include in got to grab, nope. Look at that. Well, I'm just going to leave that for now. Now, in thanks, you can choose a bunch of different fonts. I'm just going to go normal print here. I want to make it as easy to be read. There are 14 different handwritten style fonts. We can also add a QR code. This is one of my favorite, my absolute favorite functions with thanks.io, because when the recipient of this postcard scans the QR code, I am automatically notified that so-and-so at X address just scanned the QR code on this card. And it will show you get an email in real time. It will tell you their name, the address, and it will link to the actual mail piece that you sent. So if you forgot, what did I send that person that they scanned the QR code? Okay. And then I'm gonna go address here. So was it 4306 Avon Drive? And I have the merge field in there. So Patricia Nas. So that's what it looks like. That's what the front looks like. That's what the back looks like. There are other things that we can do to spruce it up and so forth, but I'm already gone way too long with finding one, etc. And I want to keep it moving along. I've got two more things I want to share, what the email script is and the text script. And then I want to open it up for brainstorming, masterminding, questions, comments, etc. But this is how you can create a different conversation with the for sale by owner. This costs 99 cents. That's if you are on using the business account with thanks.io, which is $49 a month, but you can check it out. And I would recommend all of you check it out. You can create a free account at growwithjosh.com/thanks. Now, here is the text script. This is assuming that you've already gotten at least one cash offer, to review with them. And I'm going to zoom in here so everybody can see this, but once again, you can get access to this. Just get back to whoever invited you. Hi, first name. Hi, Bob. We were able to put together several cash offer options for your property. If you don't have several, which typically with our platform, we do have several, but if you don't have several, if you just have one, you can just say, we were able to put together a cash offer for your property at blank address. When would be a good time to pop by to review it, review them with you or review it with you? Or would you prefer to review on Zoom? Let me know, thanks, and your name. The email would be pretty much the same. It would be subject line for first name, and 1, 2, 3, whatever the street address. Hi, first name. And in this, when you've got email, you have more real estate to work with, whereas with the text message, you don't want it to be super, super long. So you could reference the fact in the email, it looks like your property at X address was listed, but didn't sell. Okay, you could do that, or you could just go right to we've put together a cash offer for your property at address. And I'm just gonna copy this. And we don't care if they offer a time to pop by and review or hop on Zoom. Either way, we're meeting with them to talk about a cash offer. So took me longer than I would have liked to get to that, to get all of this out. With that said, I would love to now pivot to brainstorming, masterminding, questions, etc. For those, is this recorded? Absolutely. To get the recording as well as the bonus resources and the links referenced, etc. Just get back to whoever invited you to the session. And as soon as all of that is available and ready, they will be happy to share that with you 100%. Susan, in Canada, we have strict do not contact rules on our MLS. Yes, you cannot be working for sale by owners in the same form or fashion. However, this can work in other ways as well. In fact, if you get back to whoever invited you, later today, Bob in our organization is going to be sharing with our sales team how we can use a similar process to go after currently active listings as well. And there may be other, avenues as well for sale by owners. Susan, I believe you can go after without an issue. Mike, it sounds like I was the one that invited you on here. Mike asked, where do you get the cash offer system from? What is involved with that? Just shoot me an email and I'd be happy to schedule a time to chat with you about that and what is involved with that, and you know, and how, you know, how that works with our organization. Oh, look at this, Robert, thank you. Why do we say getting down to brass tacks? According to one, brass-headed tacks were used in the foundation of chairs. So when you went to reupholster them, the tacks were last things you got down to after removing the cover and stuffing. Hence, that's when the craftsman was really getting to the heart of the matter. Look at that. If we didn't learn anything about expired listings, at least we all now know what brass tacks mean. So when you just throw it out there like I did randomly, there's an actual reason. Ed brings up a great point. There are a whole bunch of expireds between 2013 and 2017. I would say that there's also a bunch from 2017 to 2019, right? So this is not limited. This strategy is not in any way, shape, or form limited to recent expired listings. It can absolutely and will, at least to a certain degree, work on older listings as well. Let's see here. Just going through the group. Okay, it did work. It is live. John had asked, and this was answered in here, but I think good to share. I mentioned the integration with MyPlusLeads and KV Core, and John asked, does it require an opt-in before you can enter emails or phone numbers from sources like MyPlusLeads or PropStream? The answer is it depends on how you're getting the data over, but the MyPlusLeads KV Core integration does not require an opt-in, or you're manually overriding the opt-in. If you're importing data, you have to actually manually click that, you know, I've got permission to message that. Angelina, what system do you use to do this automatically so we don't have to spend a lot of time? MyPlusLeads. You can check that out at growwithjosh.com/MyPlusLeads. I use Vulcan 7 and it does it all for me, Mike. That's a great share. You know, Vulcan 7's been around for a while. LandVoice has been around for a while. They all work, right? It's all a matter of, and if, you know, if this is something that you, you know, really want to master, you may find that in certain areas, the data from one provider is better than the data of the other provider. But what I would tell you is get started with something, and then you can always pivot, right? You can't steer a parked car, right? You've got to get in motion, and then you can always provide direction for that. In Canada, having recorded. Pete pointed out a misspelling I have on there. We'll get that switched. Always a good idea before you send an email, a text message, or a direct mail piece to read it out loud to yourself. Read it out loud, because when we read it silently, it doesn't, like, we can do this thing where we're reading what we think it should be, but not actually reading the words on there. So by reading it out loud, you drastically increase the chances of you finding mistakes. Now, I will say that an occasional mistake can actually work in your favor, right? But I wouldn't intentionally build in mistakes, right? And you don't want it to be gross errors where it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay. But reading things aloud, and that's something I talk about often on the Texting Tuesday sessions that I do at 10:30 a.m. Eastern every Tuesday morning. Joel asked, what time is Bob's event? Bob's event is 3 p.m. Eastern. So for those of you in our EXP organization, if you need information on how to attend that event, it's 3 p.m. Eastern. Just get back to, you know, text or email whoever your business partner is for that information. Is your iBox platform different from Express Offers from eXp Realty? Yes, Isabel, 100% it is. Express Offers is a great, you know, it's a wonderful thing that eXp has put together for us, but their buy boxes in many markets are just not very realistic. And so with our cash offer platforms, not only can we obtain, in many cases or most cases, multiple cash offer options, but we can also offer unique value proposition style offers. For example, the ability to sell your home for cash and lease it back for up to 6 or 12 months while you identify your replacement property or X or Y or Z. It has the ability to help buyers become cash buyers or make cash offers on the home they're going to buy. So there's a lot of additional unique value propositions, whereas Express Offers is mainly, most of the buy boxes in there are investors looking to buy at significant discounts, of which it's a very small percentage of sellers that would be interested in. Okay, I think I've got all the chat. Who's got other questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas to share that maybe I missed, or or from your experience, etc.? Harry.
So if you were going to do multiple of the mailing, would you just take that screenshot, and so you'd leave all the stuff on the front on the Canva and just substitute the back that has the
Correct. What you can do is
thing?
delete. Yes, you can delete the image.
Mhm.
Then you can upload the new one, and you may just have to send to back, which you would right click and send it to the back. And that way the Post-it note and the circle, which, by the way, the circle should be red. It was taking too long to do some of this, and I wanted to keep it moving along and have as much time to actually mastermind and brainstorm, etc. But yes, and if that's something you're interested in, again, you can create a free account at growwithjosh.com/thanks, and then reach out. We can help with that. And they're super helpful as well. Thanks.io is super helpful as well. Doing that in that fashion, it is manual work. Okay. But you are drastically improving or increasing the likelihood that your mail piece makes it into the A pile by doing that, because it is a dramatic pattern interrupt. They see a screenshot of their property, okay, with some other things that grab their attention, maybe a red circle around expired, the Post-it note, etc. That message is going to get read. You are going to at least earn their attention and the opportunity to have a conversation, about what you're offering. Isabel.
Yes, I just have one question. Is that iBox platform that you're talking about available in California?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
It's in 49 states. Now, the buy boxes with our cash offer platform do vary by markets. There are some differences by market and what criteria fits and so forth. And again, you can get back to whoever invited you. They'd be happy to get you more information on what that looks like, how that works, etc. One thing I'll say is, obviously, you saw how slow and painful and methodical some of those points were, which I would recommend if you're going to try this strategy. You're more than welcome to try that way first. But if this is something that resonates with you and you feel like in your gut, like this makes sense for you, there is a lot of this can be automated for you, and make it exponentially more efficient and effective than what you saw me sort of muddling my way through here. Angela Lucas, are you familiar with Real eFlow? I'm not. I don't know what. I'm not sure. Is that a data source? Is it a CRM? And maybe someone else on here is familiar, or maybe if you can provide more context as to why you're asking or what you're looking to do with it. Happy to dive deeper.
Looks like it's for investors,
Okay.
but doesn't mean you could use it as an agent.
You know what? Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can, without having my screen sharing currently on, if I can get PropStream to open up, because PropStream, I would assume, is somewhat similar to Real eFlow, where you can find local cash buyers as well, as well as a number of other things, including you can even use PropStream to find expired listings as well. It looks like I might actually have success in logging in. Look at that. It actually worked. So here I will, I'll take a minute for those interested. Whoops. So we'll do two things here. You can get a free account with PropStream, a free 7-day trial at growwithjosh.com/PS. But let's say I want to find all of the cash buyers in Cumberland County. And I'm saying my entire county because I live in a very rural area. It's not very densely populated. The population of the entire county is somewhere around 200,000. You can see here that there are 5,900 cash buyers in Cumberland County, PA. But what we're looking for is cash investors, right? Cash investors. So one quick way we can narrow that down is if we go to filter and we go to ownership info and we choose a corporate. Now we've got, whoops, you know what? I forgot to do the quick list choices, cash buyers. Cash buyers, corporate. Now we've got 1970. But let's say I want recently active. So we've got cash buyers, corporate, and we'll go owner info, the min years ownership of, well, there's a number of ways that we could do this, but I'll say the minimum years will go 0 to 1, meaning they've bought a home, a property in cash in the last year. That's 368. I could also go and say, okay, I want to see everyone who bought a home in cash in a corporate entity over the last year that was a single family home, 134. Okay. Now you go to this audience and you can email, call, text, direct mail and say, hey, you know, are you still looking to add to your portfolio? Are you still buying properties here in Cumberland County? However you want to frame it. Now, how can we use it to find expired listings? Well, I can clear all. And I'm going to go to MLS status, not on market. I am also going to choose MLS status failed. And I'm going to choose, it's been a little bit since I've played around with this. I think we're going to choose MLS status date. Let's say I'm going to pull all of the failed listings from last year.
That'll be a short list.
It probably will be. Nonetheless, we'll see here. So I'm going to go the last year. So failed, no. Oh, you know what? I cleared all, so I don't have a geographic location chosen. So I'll add Cumberland County to that. So 216. 216. Now this is according to these criteria that they're not currently on the market, failed. Oh, this is a big one. So years of ownership, 2 or more, so that we're at least protecting ourselves. That makes more sense. So what this means is it failed last year, it's not on the market, and it hasn't transferred. In other words, they've owned it for 2 or more years. And that's why it dropped down significantly when I did that. So I just wanted to show you some different things that you can do with this platform, whether you already have it or you're thinking about checking it out. It just gives you a few ideas of what you can do with it. Christy, what email to reach out? Getting more info about the cash offer. Christy, you can just reply to the email where the invite was sent, or you can email josh@growwithjosh.com or mike@growwithjosh.com. Either way. Or you can, well, I won't throw that out here. It definitely gives you more than real eFlow. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, there are lots of really cool things you can do with PropStream with layering of data and filters, etc. There are, as with any platform like that, there are also limitations, but it's pretty robust. And the cool thing with that is, for example, that list of 77 expired listings, I can choose all of them and I can have it, I can pay it, you know, it would cost me about $7 or $8 to skip trace and append email and phone number data including the numbers that are on the do not call. So now I've got a list of 77 expired listings from last year that I can email, call, text, or direct mail. Is PropStream better for expired than Bright MLS? Well, you can be much more efficient in getting the data than manually pulling it in Bright. In other words, because you can filter by not on market, pull old data, you can filter by other similar criteria, meaning single family, number of bedrooms, bath, etc. So it can allow you to be more efficient, and you can skip trace in there, right? So you can skip trace in that platform. So Alana, thank you. Appreciate it. Alana says this is killer content. Well, I appreciate it. Good stuff. Other questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas before we let everybody go? Can you export PropStream to Thanks.io and KV Core? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is you would have to scrub some data. You want to remove the do not call numbers, etc. Very, very easy to export and import into Thanks. A little bit muddier and also potentially not recommended to just import into KV Core. There are exceptions, but I wouldn't ever recommend exporting a list of 5,000 records with PropStream and then just importing them into KV Core. The way I use and recommend using KV Core is as a place to work not cold data. Okay, not cold data. Okay, so people who have opted in, I would include for sale by owners in that. They're not cold in the sense that they are actively trying to sell their home, right? So they're putting their business out on the internet, let's say, right? But again, I wouldn't go and pull 5,000 single family homes, in a certain zip code, skip trace, and just dump all of them into KV Core. I would put marketing mechanisms in place to find out who in that list is responsive or who in that list is likely to sell in the next 6 to 9 months, which is another thing that you can get back to whoever invited you for some information on how we do that. Those would be scenarios where maybe then we would take that data and put it into KV Core. But it's no problem at all to take a list of 5,000 and import it as a mailing list in Thanks.io. Like there's no issue with that, as far as I'm concerned. Pete brings up a good point. With PropStream, you can filter by all kinds of things, like how much equity, years of ownership. You can even pull like what their current mortgage rate is. There's so many use cases for how you can filter data. It almost can be overwhelming because there are so many options, which is why first and foremost, you should figure out, okay, what is the audience that I want to connect with, right? In today's session, we're talking about expired listings, but you could also use it to, for example, and I know this is one that Bob is having a lot of success with, senior owners in a 2-story home. That is potentially a great audience to then, make a similar offer. Hey, we've got a cash offer on your property. Could we schedule a time to review it for you? Something of that nature. Good point, Pete. Thanks. All right. I think we've gone long enough here for Monday Marketing Mastermind. We'll put together the all of the additional resources, etc. mentioned. All you have to do is reach out and to whoever invited you, and they will get that for you. For those of you that are already part of our sales organization, we do have Bob at 3 o'clock today. He's going to be going over how we can use a similar concept here, but with active listings to put some deals in, some transactions in escrow here before the end of the year. I'm really excited for that one. And it's one that we're already starting to do, Mike and I here locally. So we've got that. We've got Texting Tuesday tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. For those of you interested, that's on We live stream that on my YouTube channel, Josh Schoenly Coaching. We've got our big group coaching tomorrow at 12:30. Wednesday on our coaching huddle, we're going to dig into something I think is pretty cool and exciting. Home seller workshops. I saw some information this weekend that has me revisiting that. And then next Monday for our Monday Marketing Mastermind, we're going to be talking about retargeting on Facebook, Instagram, and Google. That was a topic that a number of folks had asked for and were interested in. How do you join this afternoon session? So that is only for our sales organization. So you either have to already be a part of that, or unfortunately, I can't get you live access to that. But you can get back to whoever invited you here to at least initiate a conversation about that if that's something you're interested in.
I want you to, when you say your organization, you mean your join your organization, not EXP. You're not saying EXP.
Correct.
You're saying
Correct.
your organization. Okay.
Yep.
Got you.
Yep.
All right.
All right, let's all make it a great week for folks in my group. Let's come back on Wednesday with some awesome wins. And again, next Monday for our Marketing Mastermind, we are going to be covering retargeting. Good request, a good topic, and one that I think can help all of us stay top of mind, make sure that we we're maximizing our database and maximizing our transaction opportunities. So thanks everybody. Take care, and let's make it a great week.